Spokane County Jail. Here, mentally ill offenders are caught in a cycle of crime.
The jail becomes a mental hospital for some of these people that the system just can't handle.
Besides holding those accused of the county's most heinous crimes, the jail also serves as the third largest mental health facility in Washington state.
There's only one Holy Spirit, and that's me.
The horror is real.
And here, it takes killer instincts to survive.
If I don't try to hurt him, he's going to try to hurt me. So let's just get it on and be done with it.
Now, a spike in crime puts the jail at maximum capacity. Will an elite team of 22 officers be able to maintain control? Spokane, Washington. 100 miles from the Canadian border and surrounded by the Cascade and Rocky Mountains. But juxtaposed against the natural surroundings is a dark microcosm of the city. It's called Spokane County Jail.
Spokane County Jail is no joke.
Inmates behind these walls are accused or convicted of a wide array of crimes, from simple vandalism to unspeakable murders. This place is their purgatory. Many detainees await their day in court. Spokane County Jail was built for a capacity of 465 inmates. But today, a surge in criminal activity on the streets, together with a growing population of mentally ill detainees, has maxed the jail out at 580.
A lot of them will intentionally commit crimes that come in here so they can get their mental health medication.
These factors have caused the jail to expand beyond its main building, adding a minimum security facility known as Geiger. But the expansion isn't enough. The only way for outnumbered officers to handle the overflow of inmates and curb violence is to lock them in their cells for extended periods of time.
Budget reasons and stuff, the whole jail has gone to more of a lockdown situation.
Sergeant R.D. Smith is at the forefront of keeping the peace, and he has his hands full.
You know what? You keep running your mouth and you're going to be locked down or sent to 6 East.
I didn't even do nothing wrong.
Are you listening to me?
Yeah, I hear you straight up, man, but I'm just saying...
Then you need to be quiet.
Smith began working at the jail 24 years ago. Over the years, he's been activated twice by the Air National Guard and has served in Afghanistan and Iraq. He knows how to take care of business.
We have a job to do, and that's to keep the public safe by keeping the inmates in here safe and secure.
And that's no mean feat.
Well, I don't appreciate the finger in my face either.
Well, I don't appreciate a camera in my face.
Too bad! You're in jail.
We take you because we can. You don't get a choice in the matter.
Man. All you guys.
From death threats to name-calling, the correction staff has seen it all.
Do goody, kissing, sucking.
I've been called just about everything in the book, and you can't take it personally. If you do, you'd never come to work again.
But Smith isn't alone. He's the co-founder and leader of an elite security task force, the Corrections Response Team, also known as CRT. This intimidating force of 22 men was formed in 1990 to control violent inmates and confront dangerous situations head-on. Jail is an unpredictable environment. Violence can erupt at any time. In 2007, CRT responded to a riot that broke out at the Geiger facility. They are specially trained in cell extractions, inmate restraint, and preventing violent attacks. These officers will combat any trouble in the 11 cell blocks of Spokane County Jail. They include minimum, medium, and maximum security sections for both men and women. This morning, Sergeant Smith and his team get into position for a shakedown on a maximum security cell block.
An inmate claimed he was going to be shanked by other inmates in the module or at court.
CRT takes the threat seriously. Shanks, made by inmates from household supplies, like this toothbrush, are used to maim or kill their enemies. Smith and his team will conduct a thorough sweep throughout the tier, searching for contraband. But before they can search the cells, they need to remove the inmates.
Come to the door, cup up. Squat down, put your back to the door, put your hands out the food slot. Do as you're told. Put your back to the door, put your hands out the food slot.
After repeated requests, this inmate refuses to cooperate. The team has no other option. They must remove him by force.
Dude, contact. Oh, contact! Oh! Mike, secure! You're also not following directions. You gonna follow directions now?
Yes, I promise.
You do what you're told when you're told. Yeah. Do you understand? Yeah. Follow directions.
Once CRT has the inmate secured, he'll be escorted to the showers, where he'll be strip searched for weapons, forbidden meds, and other contraband. 6 cells over, a staff member deals with another unruly inmate. Bradley Hickey is a gangbanger accused of armed robbery. He claims he's been locked down for 72 hours, and he's not afraid to confront staff about the situation.
3 days and we ain't been allowed to come out of our house and get our nothing, man. That's against the law.
Is it?
They don't even do that on death row, man.
The day's not over, okay? Do you want to leave? Either sit down and be quiet or you get to go somewhere else. It's your choice. You want to go somewhere else?
This is man. We're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And they don't tell you guys that we're locked down all the time, do they?
A short time later, CRT's called in to deal with Hickey.
Come to the door and cup up. Lay down on the floor then.
I lay down, man. I didn't do nothing wrong. What? Because I get locked down all day for nothing? Give me your hand. Stop fighting your hand. Get the shield out. Get the shield out.
Where's Jill?
He's being moved. He was going off about being locked down, being verbally abusive. He was told to calm down, and he said basically, "F you."
Right here. Let him stand, let him walk.
Hickey will be relocated to the disciplinary segregation tier, or the hole, where he'll spend the next 10 days in isolation. While continuing their search for weapons, CRT stumbles across an emergency in a shower stall. Inmate Bam Davis, charged with armed robbery, is showing signs of an overdose. CRT members and jail nurse Sharon Dunphy try their best to keep him alert.
Keep your eyes open, would you? Hey, right here. Davis? Yeah. Hey, right here, right here.
He's getting cold.
Stay with me, all right? Hey, guess what? You get to see a bunch of firefighters today.
Why?
Because they're going to come and take you to the hospital, check you out.
Davis is escorted out of the shower.
Stand up one, there we go. We're going to lock the door, we're going to lay down.
The staff administer oxygen.
Stay away, Mr. Davis, okay?
Hey, Mr. Davis, you stay away from me. Can you tell me what you took? Mr. Davis, can you tell me what you took? Mr. Davis, stay with me. Mr. Davis.
All right.
Come on.
All right. Yes, you're rubbing on your chest.
Mr. Davis, wake up for me.
What's going on right now?
His pulse is remaining elevated. His blood pressure keeps dropping.
What is this guy?
Possible drug overdose.
Within minutes, the emergency medical crew arrives. Davis has overdosed on an unknown substance and has to be rushed to the hospital. Paramedics struggle to keep him alive.
Something like this will happen on a pretty regular basis, and the stress load is uncommon. Some people who just really aren't cut out for the job, they'll move on.
Davis may have been collecting and abusing contraband medications. Staff will investigate the cause of his overdose. In the end, the shakedown is successful. The staff recovers forbidden medications and other contraband.
So we try to cut down as many things as they have to make weapons, but they're pretty ingenious. I mean, they got a lot of time to think about this stuff.
Today, Sergeant Smith and his crack team of enforcers have sent a powerful message to all the inmates. In Spokane County Jail, CRT has the upper hand. Up next, an unpredictable inmate lashes out.
Well, they say that I'm the most dangerous man in the world.
And later, the bizarre reality behind Bam Davis's medical emergency. Spokane County Jail. 1 out of every 3 inmates here is mentally imbalanced. This has made the jail one of the largest mental health institutions in the state of Washington. This burden, coupled with a population of alleged murderers, gangbangers, and thieves, weighs heavily on Sergeant Smith and his corrections response team. Many inmates are unpredictable, and CRT never knows what's waiting on the other side of a cell door. Today, an inmate's threatening to harm officers, and he's placed a towel over the glass, so staff members can't see what he's up to. The inmate lashes out with sharp pencils taped to his knuckles. CRT quickly reacts with tasers. While the inmate is pinned on the floor, a CRT member removes the makeshift pencil weapon from his hand.
You better stretch it out! My hand's tied. Stretch it out! It's tied in it.
Deputy Nathan Fu has been a member of CRT for 12 years. He knows one wrong move could be his last.
If you're not mentally prepared for any given situation, when it does come up, you're going to freeze.
CRT members rely on their heightened instincts to make split-second decisions.
When you go through the training program, you got a guy that's watching you, every minute. Then you go on a solo duty, and now you have to make all these decisions on your own.
CRT has an arsenal of tools at their disposal, including the beanbag shotgun,
Get out! Get out! Get out!
pepper spray, and tasers. As a rite of passage, CRT members experience the crippling effects of the taser, a non-lethal weapon that shoots electrical currents through the body's nervous system, momentarily paralyzing the victim. Today, CRT members will master a device known as the Sting Ball grenade. The Sting Ball is a non-lethal weapon used for crowd control. Inside the grenade are rubber pellets. Here, CRT uses the Sting Ball in a simulated cell extraction.
The balls you see right there in my hand, they come out and they make a good projectile, as you can see on the target there.
The jail tries to limit the need for such weapons by placing unruly inmates in isolation on a maximum security cell block known as the Hole. The pink doors don't reflect who lies on the other side. Spokane County's worst inmates.
The inmates refer to it as the hole. If you have a discipline issue in the jail, this is where you end up.
It's a f***ed place to be.
Violent behavior quickly earns a ticket to the hole.
I'm going to keep you on 6 East for the rest of your stay.
They're locked down, most of them 23 hours a day. It's pretty solitary confinement up here.
Bradley Hickey confronted CRT during a shakedown. As a result, he makes himself at home in the hole.
The hole isn't real fun, you know. Get out twice a week. It's not cool. That's the second time I've fought with him.
Just down the hall, his new neighbor is no ordinary detainee. His name is Cole Strandberg, and he's Spokane County Jail's most notorious inmate.
Anytime we deal with Mr. Strandberg, it's only CRT that deals with him. We use caution with him, probably more so than anyone else that we're dealing with at this time. He's in here on a murder charge, and he's possibly looking at the death penalty.
Well, they say that I'm the most dangerous man in the world.
Strandberg is accused of sexually assaulting, torturing, and shooting a crossbow arrow into the head of a young woman.
The horror is real.
He's awaiting trial on first-degree murder charges. But first, it must be determined if he's mentally fit to stand trial. It's up to CRT to handle him for the remainder of his stay.
They call me the devil, actually. I am the devil.
The devil, as he calls himself, routinely puts officers in his crosshairs.
I can't help it. I'm overkill. I can't help it. Sometimes, it's like...
Jail footage shows CRT responding to an encounter with Strandberg they'll never forget.
He refused to come out, destructive in his cell, tearing stuff up.
The corrections response team is called into action. Strandberg watches as they unlock the door, calculating his next move.
Right at the door.
CRT storms the cell. The altercation results in an officer's head getting slammed against the wall. CRT members restrain Strandberg, but it's too late. They have a man down. The deputy's neck is severely fractured.
CCR dispatching ambulance to the jail. We have an injured officer.
To prevent further injury to staff members, including biting, a spit mask is placed over Strandberg's head.
Because of Strandberg's actions, if he hadn't done that, we wouldn't have gone in there and nobody would have got hurt.
Up next, a crazy night in booking.
I will not be detained.
Then, officers work to protect an inmate from harming herself. Spokane County Jail. In these quiet hallways, 580 inmates are locked in their cells. But when the doors swing open, anything can happen. There are only 140 officers on staff. Outnumbered, Sergeant Smith needs people he can count on. And there's no one you can count on more than family. His stepson, Deputy Cameron Karowski, is following in his footsteps.
Being new to the place, I gotta get some good training from the old-timer who's been around.
Hey now, what's the old-timer?
He's my dad to me. He was a major influence on me taking a career here at the jail.
Deputy Karowski works in booking, the first stop for every detainee at Spokane County Jail. He weighs the inmates, takes mugshots, and collects their personal information and possessions. It's near midnight, with a full moon out.
The full moon definitely has an impact on business in the jail.
Tonight, an intoxicated detainee is brought in.
I can't be in prison.
This isn't prison. This is just jail, all right?
This Army sergeant and Iraq War veteran was arrested for driving under the influence.
You need to relax. You're here now. You're under arrest. Let's just get through the process, okay? You understand that?
No.
Well, you are.
No.
You're here in Spokane County Jail.
I'm a U.S. Army sergeant.
I understand
okay?
that.
I will not be detained. Okay?
A little late for that, sir.
I will not be detained.
We're not going to get through this way.
Okay, no. All right.
They escort the sergeant to a holding cell for a routine search.
I'm sorry. I had a flashback. I'm sorry. Listen, I'm sorry. We're going to get you to the process. I apologize. Okay? I'm sorry.
And then to a separate holding cell, where he again becomes belligerent.
I can't even get blanking for serving 2 tours in Iraq.
Sir, when you're down here and you're in the cell, you don't get anything, okay? So your best bet right now is just to go sit down and sleep it off, okay? And acting a fool and yelling and screaming isn't going to do you anything.
No, I'm just saying.
I understand
Listen,
that.
buddy.
I'm not your buddy.
How many times have you spent a tour in Iraq?
Well, I haven't, so.
None. Right. So shut the up.
Kurowski takes the verbal assault in stride.
He's extremely intoxicated. He'll wait there until his superior comes to the jail. A lot of times when these guys will come to jail, they're afraid for their career, just being his profession, being in the military. When you're in the jail, we don't care if you're, a military or anything. You're gonna get treated the same as anybody.
Kurowski moves on to a new inmate.
Arlene, go and face up here for me.
Another inebriated detainee, Leanna Gegowich, was arrested for third-degree assault.
I can't seem to keep my hands to myself, I guess.
Deputy Jan Bauer searches Leanna.
You got what in your bra?
I got a cell phone and probably like 2 cell phones, actually.
2 cell phones. Why are they in your bra?
Because they're close to me and I can hear them when I'm there. Okay. All right.
After the cell phones are removed, Kurowski processes Leanna in the booking department.
I was sober 8 months and I drank one night and I ended up in here.
And it's early in the night. We still got about 9 hours on shift. It's a flip of a coin to say what's really going to happen.
Spokane County Jail processes everyone from the mentally ill to gang members and white-collar criminals. Joanna Williams, who lost a leg to cancer, was arrested for assault following a physical altercation with her grandson. Upon arriving, she began banging her head against the wall to get the deputy's attention.
I was trying to talk to him, get an understanding of when I get my meds or whatever, and he walked away, so I banged my head on the wall a couple of times because I knew it would get their attention.
She's having trouble in her new surroundings.
I'm in pain because I haven't had my medications. I've been through cancer. I've been through hell and back with this leg.
Fearing for the woman's safety, the staff took drastic measures. They put Joanna in a restraint chair and placed her in an isolation cell.
You don't get what you want by doing destructive behavior to yourself, and it's a safety issue for that inmate now. The mental health will come down and talk to her, and they'll assess her situation.
Up next, the true cause of Bam Davis's overdose.
I just wanted to end it, and I'm done with this.
And later, CRT escorts combative inmate Cole Strandberg to court.
And you never know what's going to happen.
Spokane, Washington. The county jail houses everyone from alleged murderers to offenders with mental illness who cycle through the jail repeatedly.
They quit taking their meds and they end up right back in here.
Being in lockdown for extended periods can cause some inmates to crack and lash out at their rivals, the staff, or even themselves. Confronting them is all in a day's work for the Corrections Response Team, or CRT. Today, Sergeant Smith and CRT are dealing with an inmate believed to be suffering from mental illness. He's displaying erratic behavior and is not following orders.
We have an inmate that hasn't showered in a while, and he's got urine on the floor, and it smells like feces, too.
Hey, remember that? Remember what happened last time when we sprayed you with this stuff?
That was pepper spray, remember? Yes, it is.
Okay. We'll be back.
CRT members gather for a pre-extraction briefing.
He's been up there for over a week without a shower, feces, urine all over the cell. Gonna go up and do our usual snatch and grab.
CRT approaches the inmate for the second time. He's lying in his bed and still refuses to exit his cell.
Come to the door. We want to cuff you up so you can take a shower. You want to be pepper sprayed?
A deputy sprays the area, while the inmate takes refuge beneath his blanket.
You guys masking up?
The officers empty the entire canister into the cell. The inmate doesn't react.
Come up here to the door. You got your big can?
They'll need to use a second can of pepper spray.
Come to the door.
Finally, the inmate starts gagging and succumbs to the spray. CRT places him in a restraint chair and wheels him to the shower.
We pepper sprayed him, almost 2 cans, and he was a person that may have some mental health issues, and he was resistant, at least he was resistant, to the pepper for the longest time.
Inmate Bam Davis also suffers from mental illness. He recently attempted suicide during a CRT shakedown. Medical staff discovered that it wasn't medication he ingested, but seeds from a particular type of fruit, a fruit that naturally contains trace amounts of cyanide. Davis hoarded the seeds until the dose was lethal. The jail staff saved his life.
The thing is, you know, I've been here for 2 years, and they think that I was cheeking meds, and I was trying to get rid of them for the shakedown. The truth is, that day I just kind of hit a roadblock, man, and I just wanted to end it, and I'm done with this, man. Like I said, I've been here for 2 years, pre-trial. I haven't been convicted of anything, and this is my life right here for 23 hours of the day. After a while, you start hearing voices. I mean, what are you supposed to do for 23 hours? There's only so many letters I can write. I've read almost every book on the floor. You just get tired of this, you know?
Suicide attempts aren't uncommon in correctional facilities throughout the country.
A lot of these guys are special needs inmates. They have a lot of medications. They don't interact well with other inmates. You have to keep an eye on that.
I'm at Spokane County Jail. I would like to go back to my red sand castle.
The staff monitors these detainees daily.
They can't get help at the mental hospitals. They're walking the streets. And many of them get arrested. And then they get put into jail, and the jail sometimes become a quote-unquote mental hospital for some of these people that the system just can't handle.
The staff must also deal with inmates who haven't officially been diagnosed with a mental disorder. Cole Strandberg falls into this category.
They say that I'm the #1 paranoid schizophrenic in the world.
among the crimes of which he's been accused: shooting a woman in the head with a crossbow and decapitating a cat. Strandberg will soon attend a court hearing to set up a mental health evaluation. The stakes are high.
It could affect where he's incarcerated at. It can affect, his whole life. Plus, it could affect whether he gets the death penalty or not.
If you got the magic words for me, I can turn into a gargoyle. Seriously. It's called alchemy. I can do that.
Up next, brazen inmates defy authority.
Just keep eyes and make sure the cops can't see you.
And later, Strandberg heads to court.
They'll either commit him or he'll stand trial.
Trouble lurks behind the cell doors of Spokane County Jail. When they open, all hell can break loose. With officers outnumbered 4-1, Sergeant R.D. Smith and his corrections response team go out of their way to make certain that the rules are clear and that inmates respect authority.
Stand up, inmates, right now. Hey, what do you need? You need a shower.
Sergeant Smith has a simple philosophy when it comes to dealing with detainees.
I try to be firm, fair, and consistent. The relationship I have with inmates is pretty much on a professional level. They need to know that they're in jail and they're not my buddy.
Many inmates will go out of their way to bend the rules or challenge the staff's authority.
I'll do anything I can. Okay. I have no respect for authority.
Obviously, he does have respect because he's doing what he's told to do.
Inmate Dennis Sprayberry picks up and delivers laundry throughout the tier. He's been at Spokane County Jail for almost a year and will be heading to prison. He just received a 10-year sentence for conspiracy to commit robbery. Being convicted has not tempered his attitude one bit.
Anything we're not allowed to do, we'll do it anyways. The guards think they run it, well, we run it.
He has numerous ways to buck the system in order to relay messages and exchange contraband. And his job provides the perfect opportunity to bend the rules.
I don't know, it's weird, just the smallest things in jail, you get enjoyment out of. Like coming out to do this laundry, even though it's a dirty job, I enjoy it. Because I get out of my cell more, plus I can pass it amongst my homies.
Today, Sprayberry sneaks in hot water for one lucky inmate. It's one luxury item that's forbidden during lockdown.
They say no water, we say we'll give water to our friends. All right, so what we got here is he's got a piece of paper. I got some hot water. We're not allowed to do this, but he can slide it through, slide it under the lock. So he does this, and then on the inside of the cell, he got his cup ready. You ready?
Yeah.
Then I just go like that, and then you just keep eyes and make sure the cops can't see you. Right, bang. Pulls it in. Says good looking out. There's a nice cup of coffee.
Other detainees have their own ways to beat the system. Michael Painter, a.k.a. Temper, is charged with second-degree assault and witness tampering. He faces life in prison. His girlfriend, Maggie Mae Tyler, lives one floor below. She's accused of second-degree murder.
Things are difficult because she's here on a murder case, and it's like I'm looking at the rest of my life, and she's looking at the rest of her life, so we kind of go through it together, you know what I mean?
Temper and Maggie met on the outside.
Well, that's my guy. He's a good dude. I've known him for a long time. He loves me.
They prove that love in lockdown is still possible when you have a so-called sync phone. Even though they live one floor apart, they use the jail's plumbing system to their advantage.
I can hear him screaming. What are you doing? I'm so mad at you.
sleepy.
Well, call me later. Yeah, I'll be awake. All right, love you.
This method's hit or miss. Sometimes, being in love can leave a bad taste in one's mouth.
It's kind of difficult sometimes because when guys are flushing their toilet, you can taste pretty much, you know what I'm saying, other people's fecal matter.
If the couple's caught using the sink phone, they could be placed in isolation. That's a chance they're willing to take. The same goes for Dennis Sprayberry, who has other acts of defiance on his mind against those who ratted him out.
If I had a chance at a snitch, I would mash their head in. I'll beat the out of them.
He says he despises people who snitch or informers, and he even freestyle raps about it.
Spokane is polluted, y'all. Half of the homies wear a badge. Spokane is polluted. Y'all just ask, you get the facts. To the Sprayberries, stay solid snitching.
Today, Sprayberry's headed to the state penitentiary to serve out the remainder of his 10-year sentence.
Peace out. Love you. God bless you. See you in prison. See you later, JJ. Bye, Jesse. I'll try not to.
Despite the occasional rule bending from the likes of Sprayberry, there's no doubt in Sergeant Smith's mind who controls Spokane County Jail.
You've got to have discipline when you got this many people in here. If you don't, you'll have chaos.
Next, a dangerous transport for Cole Strandberg.
You can smell death in the hallway.
And a hostile inmate won't back down.
Well, you are real smart.
Spokane County Jail. Violent inmates fester, then lash out at the staff and each other. Here, CRT is responding to an inmate refusing to cuff up for a court-ordered mental evaluation. Officers hit the inmate with pepper spray. The detainee does not react.
Lay on the ground! Lay on the ground now!
CRT is forced to physically extract the inmate.
We did not want it to come to this, but you forced the issue.
After CRT restrains the man, a nurse washes the pepper spray from his eyes.
Just cooperate with him. This will just go real easy.
Officers place the inmate into a vehicle that will transfer him to a hospital for a psychiatric evaluation. Elsewhere, in a medium security cell block, another inmate, Edward Hines, is becoming unhinged.
I'm having absolutely the most f***ed up time of my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely, in this piece
Okay,
of
no, Edward, stay right here.
Punk
Edward.
Nobody likes you.
Edward.
Everyone knows you're a piece of
Sergeant Parker plays it cool, but the inmate becomes more hostile.
I'm putting my back in my window.
Edward. Hey.
You want to treat people like little
Do you want to talk? Talk to me. Edward.
She's getting nowhere with Hines. Reinforcements arrive to assist Sergeant Parker and defuse the situation.
Edward, you gonna cuff up?
No.
Edward, I'm gonna give you one chance to cuff up, and then we're gonna use the spray.
Come on, Hines. Come on, Ed. Spray him.
Get over here. Put your hands up. Cuff for it.
Following a cold shower, Hines is escorted to his new cell in the hole. It's not long before Hines voices his newest complaint.
Well, you are real smart. Where the is my towel to wash my face?
This is our first time in all the years he's been coming in here that we haven't been able to talk him down. He's generally a pretty docile guy.
As Hines adjusts to his new accommodations in the hole, his neighbor, Cole Strandberg, gets ready for court. CRT's goal is to use the least amount of force possible. And that goal even applies to Strandberg, an inmate who's been violent in the past. Officers prepare to transport the most infamous inmate in Spokane County. Today, a hearing date will be set to determine whether Strandberg is mentally competent to stand trial.
If the camera can see me right now, my eyes are black. My eyes are black. I got a face like a pit bull, and if you can see my tongue, it's a dog's tongue. I have a dog's tongue.
I'm going to court today? Oh, I didn't know I was going to court today, no.
Sergeant Smith and members from CRT approach Strandberg's cell for the transport.
Being as unpredictable as he is, it's very important that we are on top of things.
The question is, will he cooperate? Once the food slot is open, Cole sticks out his hands. Restraints are applied. CRT must remain vigilant at all times. In the past, Strandberg has threatened to sexually assault and kill his attorney. Even inside the courtroom, CRT's job isn't over.
You never know what's going to happen. Whether that person jumps up out of the chair and wants to get irate, whether that person gets mad at his attorney or gets mad at the prosecutor.
Strandberg behaves. The judge sets a date to determine his mental competency.
Can we drive?
I don't die. I'm a man that doesn't die. If I get shot, it doesn't do anything to me.
Many inmates have already been diagnosed with a mental disturbance. Up against a population of mentally ill, coupled with alleged addicts, gangbangers, and murderers, Sergeant Smith and his team will do whatever they can to keep Spokane County Jail as safe as possible.
It's something different every day. It never gets boring.
At his competency hearing, Cole Strandberg was determined to be severely disturbed and not mentally competent to understand the murder charges against him. He will be involuntarily medicated and remain at Spokane County Jail for the foreseeable future, keeping CRT on high alert.
Well, I'm responsible for the end of the world. They say that I'm the Antichrist.